Nobody wants to hear this. But the stuff that makes you real money isn't fun. It's boring, repetitive, and most people quit. But that's exactly why it pays me over $1,000 an hour. Look, I'm going to keep this really simple. There's not going to be any fancy talk or complicated strategies. I'm going to give you the actual truth about what actually works. And I'm going to explain it so simply that even a 5-year-old could understand it. Every morning, I don't do some Instagram-worthy routine with meditation and journaling and a green juice. No, I wake up, I make myself a cup of tea, and I get straight to work. I have no distractions and no excuses. For 2 solid hours, I tackle the hardest tasks first, the ones that actually move the needle. For me, that's writing scripts for my videos. It's not exciting, it's not glamorous, but it's what pays the bills big time. When I focus on these difficult tasks, first thing in the morning, my hourly rate skyrockets to over $1,000. And it's not because I'm special or I'm doing something revolutionary. It's because I'm willing to do what others simply won't. Here's what most gurus won't tell you. Success isn't complicated, but it's uncomfortable as hell. I work 6 days every week. 6, not 3, not 4, 6 full days of focused work. And I used to do it 7 days a week. And during those 6 days, I'm not scrolling through TikTok. I'm not binge watching Netflix. I'm not going out with friends. I'm obsessing over my business. Does that sound extreme? Maybe. But that is what it takes to become successful. That's what it takes to make serious money. FU money. The kind of money that allows you to retire your mom. Success demands that you say no to 99% of stuff. No to the parties, the random hangouts, the distractions, the fake friends. They all have to wait. Your goals are the priority. Making cash is the priority. Now you may say, but that sounds super boring. Yeah, it is sometimes. But do you know what's more boring? Being broke, living paycheck to paycheck, working a job you hate for the next 40 years. Every evening at 9, my phone goes on airplane mode and grayscale mode. I make no exceptions, and I don't touch it until noon the next day, or at least until I've finished my deep work session. That's how serious I am about protecting my focus. Is it fun? No, not really. Do I want to check my phone? Yeah, of course. But does it work if I just don't look at it and focus? Absolutely. When my phone goes into grayscale mode, it removes all the dopamine triggering colors that keep you scrolling. Your brain suddenly finds that phone a lot less appealing and interesting. You don't want to click on notifications anymore. Honestly, try it tonight and watch how quick you will lose interest in mindless scrolling. This one simple hack has given me back hundreds of hours of productive time that I would have wasted on scrolling on social media instead. And here's the thing. I'm not special. I don't have some magical willpower that you don't have. I just understand that my environment either works for me or against me. And so because of that, I engineer my environment to make success the path of least resistance. Now, unfortunately, there are some things we're not allowed to show on YouTube, which is why to help you, I've recorded a free training to show you how I went from 0 to over $1,200 a day with 95% profit margins. The link is in the description, and I highly suggest you check it out when you're done with this video. You can also book a free call with me or my team, and together, we'll come up with a game plan for you to get to 5 to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But be quick, because we literally get hundreds of applications per month, so we don't have enough spots for everyone. Another key is repetition and consistency. These aren't sexy concepts. Nobody makes viral TikToks about doing the same boring task day after day. But this is the secret sauce. The key is doing the boring work even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Because only working at the right thing consistently will actually make you rich. There's a reason we say Rome wasn't built in a day. Great things take time. And it's so easy to forget that in today's world, where every 12-year-old kid pretends to be a billionaire with 16 girlfriends on Instagram. The truth is that real success takes years, not days, but most people can't handle that truth. I still remember when I started my consulting business over 3 years ago. I had no views, no money, no audience. It was just me showing up day after day, creating content when nobody was watching it. I was reaching out to potential clients, getting ignored, getting rejected. It wasn't fun, it wasn't rewarding, but I kept going. And after 6 months, I barely made any progress because I was trying to figure everything out alone. After a year, I made small improvements. And after 2 years, things really started to take off. I invested in myself, I improved my skills. And now, I make more in a day than I used to make in a month. But it didn't happen overnight. Let me tell you something nobody talks about. The plateau, the valley of despair. It's that flat period where you're putting in the work, but you're seeing minimal results, if any results at all. It's the most dangerous time, because that is when most people quit. They start thinking, oh my god, it's not working. They think they're doing something wrong. But that plateau is actually the most important part of your journey. It's where you develop the grit, the skills and the systems that will eventually catapult you forward. It's where you prove to yourself that you're different from everyone else who quits. I plateaued for 14 months straight. That was 14 months of consistent work with barely any growth. I questioned everything. I almost quit, but I didn't. And by month 15, that's when things started to hockey stick upwards. And now I'm grateful for that plateau because it weeded out all my competition. This is where 99% of people fail. They have shiny object syndrome. They start a YouTube channel, then they switch to dropshipping, then crypto, then some new get-rich-quick scheme. They never stick to anything long enough to see results. If you're jumping between 10 different business models, you're guaranteeing failure. Pick one thing and go all in. Master it completely before even thinking about something else. A lot of people wrongly believe they're not successful because they think they lack time or energy. That is a lie people tell themselves. In reality, most people just lack focus. They're scattered, jumping from one thing to the next, never giving anything a real chance to work. I know this because I was that person. For years, I tried everything. YouTube, affiliate marketing, coaching, e-commerce, you name it. And guess what? I failed at all of them until I decided to focus on just one thing and master it completely. Guess how much money I made with those businesses? Almost nothing. I was spreading myself so thin that I couldn't possibly succeed at any of them. Then I made a tough decision. I shut down all the other businesses I was working on and focused entirely on my YouTube. I went all in. Every day for hours, I studied the platform. I created content. I analyzed what worked and I improved my skills. I became obsessed with one thing instead of dabbling in 5 different things. And the results? My income increased so much, I don't even remember by how much in terms of a percentage. And it wasn't because I worked harder. I was working the same amount of hours. It was because I focused harder on the right opportunity. When you focus on one thing, something magical happens. You start noticing details others miss. You develop expertise others don't have. You solve problems others can't solve. And that is when the money starts flowing. Let me give you an example. When I decided to focus solely on YouTube, I studied everything about it. The algorithm, the thumbnails, the hooks, the retention strategies. I became obsessed. And while everyone else was distracted by the next shiny opportunity, I was getting better and better at this one thing. Now let's talk about working smart. You need to make the laws of the universe work to your advantage. If this sounds too woo, bear with me for a second. What you don't understand will rule your life, and you will never get the results that you want. You will always feel like you're at the mercy of this dark, invisible force that wants to see you fail. The 80-20 principle is real and it's super powerful. It means that 20% of your efforts produce 80% of your results. This isn't just some motivational quote or some woo-woo stuff. It's a mathematical reality. Let me show you how this works in real life. Look at your current business or job. What specific activities actually move the needle? For most people, it's only 2 or 3 key activities that drive the vast majority of the results. In my case, I tracked every single task I did for 30 days. I wrote down how long each task took and what results it produced. What I discovered shocked me. Just 3 activities were responsible for 90% of my income. Writing high-quality video scripts, optimizing my video titles and thumbnails, and creating premium offers for my audience. Everything else, posting selfies on Instagram or networking events, checking my emails constantly, that produced almost nothing. Yet, I was spending over half of my time on things like checking email or low-value activities. And once I realized this, I completely redesigned my entire workday. So now, I spend 80% of my time on those 3 high-value activities. I've ruthlessly eliminated or delegated everything else. And the result was my income tripled while my working hours actually decreased. Look at your business right now. What 20% of activities are bringing in 80% of your revenue? For me, it's my content and high-ticket offers. That's it. It's not low-ticket products or Instagram selfies. Once I identified that 20% of activities that were making me money, I doubled down on them. I spent more time improving those specific offers, more time researching the right audience for them, more time optimizing that part of my business specifically. Here is a practical exercise you can do right now. List every activity in your business or job. Now, rank them by actual results produced. Not by how busy they make you feel, not by how important they seem, but by actual measurable results. Now, look at the top 20% of that list. Are you spending at least 80% of your time on those activities? If not, you're literally choosing to make less money. This is why most people struggle. They spread themselves too thin. They try to do everything instead of doubling down on what actually works. If you're working 60 hours a week, but focusing on the wrong stuff, you're just digging yourself a deeper hole faster. Work smarter, not harder. I want you to pull out a piece of paper right now. Write down the 3 activities in your business that have made you the most money in the past 6 months. Not what you think should make money, not what some guru told you would make money, what has actually put dollars in your bank account. And now, look at your calendar. Are you spending at least 80% of your work time on those 3 activities? If not, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You're choosing to be less successful than you could be. Now, unfortunately, there are some things we're not allowed to share on YouTube, which is why to help you, I've recorded a free training to show you how I went from 0 to over $1,200 a day with 95% profit margins. The link is in the description and I highly suggest you check it out when you're done with this video. You can also book a free call with me or my team, and together, we'll come up with a game plan for you to get to 5 to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But be quick, because we literally get hundreds of applications per month, so we don't have enough spots for everyone. Most days, I only focus on 3 key tasks: creating premium content, improving my high-ticket offers, and optimizing my sales systems. That's it. Nothing else matters until those are done. So is it fun? Not always. Is it what I feel like doing every day? Definitely not. But is it what makes me $1,000 an hour? Absolutely. Last month, I tracked my actual income per hour for different activities. When I focused on my high-value tasks, my effective hourly rate was over $1,000. But when I got distracted by low-value busy work, my hourly rate dropped below $20. I'm the same person, I have the same skills, it's the same business. I just focused on different things. So that goes to show you, always focus on the activities that actually make money, not the activities that make you feel busy. But let's be clear about something. Starting a business isn't for everyone. Most people are simply not willing to make the sacrifices required to succeed. Most people can't handle the boredom of doing the same important tasks day after day. Most people want variety, excitement, and instant gratification. And that's fine. Not everyone needs to build a successful business. But if you want extraordinary results, you need to take extraordinary actions. The truth is, most people will never build wealth because they're not willing to do what wealthy people do. They want the results without the work. They want the reward without the sacrifice. It doesn't work that way. Now I live a life that most people dream about. I'm financially free. I've got time freedom, the ability to do what I want when I want, to take a day off whenever I want. But I earned it by doing what most people won't do, embracing the boring, difficult work that actually produces results. For years, I lived like most people wouldn't, so that now I can live like most people can't. That's years of discipline, focus, and consistent action. Was it worth it? Every single second, yes it was. So the choice is yours. You can live like everyone else and get what everyone else gets. Or you can live differently for a few years and get what few people ever will. Remember, the things that actually make you real money often aren't fun. They're boring, repetitive, and challenging. And that's precisely why it pays so well. Because most people quit. I didn't create these rules. I just learned to play by them. And once you understand and accept them, your entire financial life will change. So what's it gonna be? Will you chase the next shiny object? Or will you do the boring work that actually pays?